when you get to be this size, you're definitely broken mentally. I mean, I know I'm fat, and I have the ability to change it, but I can't stop eating.
That is such a deep thing to say. When you're fat, you know you're definitely broken mentally. Wow. Boom, bam. What's going on, people? We are back again with another freaking video. And this one is My 600 Pound Life, Season 11, Episode 5, Mark's Journey. And as you saw right there, Mark is already acknowledging that he is obese, that he is overweight, and of course that he does need help. But he also acknowledges that he's in this position because it is his own fault. But here's the thing though, this is why when it comes to weight loss gain, as well as weight loss itself, weight loss gain, what? This is why when it comes to weight gain and weight loss, a conversation has to be had with hopefully a therapist. The conversation has to be had with someone so you can let out what is really, putting you in that position of gaining the weight, as well as then helping you lose the weight. I think that's the thing though, isn't it? The answers come once you've gained all the weight, or you look for the help once you've gained all the weight, rather than looking for the help throughout the journey. I do believe now that people should seek help whilst they're going through the journey of actually gaining the weight. Because a lot of people avoid getting help, avoid getting assistance, avoid therapists, all that kind of stuff, whilst they're going for the journey of actually gaining the weight because they don't want to hear nothing. It's not until they get to that point where they're like, damn, I actually need to make a change. That is when they seek the help. And you know what? If only people had the power. But here's the thing, it's not that people don't have the power. There are plenty of people in this world who have the power to hold themselves accountable throughout that weight gain, and then they stop it before it gets too radical. There's people that will stop themselves when they get to 200 pounds. There's people that will stop themselves when they get to 250, 300 pounds. You know what I mean? But then for a lot of people, I guess, once they get to 300, it's like sky's the limit, and then they end up all the way at 600 pound life. But listen, let's get into exactly what went down in this episode. But of course, in case you don't know, I do cover the full reaction to the full episode on my Patreon account, where you can obviously see the full episode in particular. Obviously on YouTube, you only get to see certain clips due to copyright. But with that being said, let's get into it.
My mom and my dad, they're working hard not to be neighbors, but they are. My mom's a neighbor to a certain extent because she's coming from a place of love. She loves her baby boy.
You know, when we have an episode of 600 Pound Life, there's always a part where the person says, if they're living with their mom and dad, or whoever they're living with, actually no, mom and dad, they always say the mom and dad isn't enablers, but they are enablers, but it's all because they're coming from a good place. But they never really sit there to acknowledge that maybe the reason why your parents could be enablers is because you manipulate them. Maybe because you put pressure on them to feed you, and that's it. Obviously, 100% when it comes to the parents should be putting their foot down. The parent is the parent, and the parent is the one that is in charge. And respectfully should always be in charge. Your parent should always be your boss, your manager, your supervisor, the one that tells you what you can and cannot do, but obviously in a certain way. Obviously, the older you get, obviously that changes. But no matter how old you get, there should always be a certain level of respect between yourself and your parents, given that you and your parents always had a very good, healthy relationship, growing up. Obviously, if you've always had a very unhealthy relationship, then I guess that's not always the case. But if you've had a relationship where your parents have looked after you, they've fed you, they've housed you, until you get to the age of 42. Well then, because this guy here, he's 42, and he's living at his mum and dad's house. And not only is he living there, but he's also living there rent free. Mum says that the reason why my son doesn't pay the rent is because he spends all his money on food. So we don't charge him anything. So he lives here for free. And also there are other reasons, because he can't get a job, and which makes you think, where does he get the money from? But yeah, he can't even get a job because of his size. So the way I see it, if you've got parents that are still willing to look after you at the age of 42, you should have a certain level of respect. If they tell you, no, I'm not going to feed this. If they tell you, no, this is too much. But hey, not everybody is built the same. Anyway, we continue.
Once I made the football team, they told me, Mark, we need to get you up to 300 pounds. It was just the excuse I've been looking for to postpone doing anything about my food addiction.
Let's just process this. You're telling me that in American football, a coach has the ability to tell someone to put on extra pounds, to get to 300 pounds. No human is supposed to be over 300 pounds. Point blank period. That is an unhealthy weight to be. But of course, there's tons of people in this world that are obviously over 300 pounds. Some of them are okay. They do all right. But is it really healthy? No. Is it really the best position to put yourself in? No. To think that there's a sport, or there are sports, should I say, built, sumo wrestling, even wrestling, that are built to enable people to be obese. That is messed up. It's bad enough that you can easily get concussions from American football, as well as the later problems that you get with memory loss and the whole shebang, and then early deaths. Wow. And this sport is still a thing. And this happened to him only when he was in college. Raw. Anyway, we continue.
I know that I've enabled Mark over the years, so I try not to enable him any longer.
They got ice cream down there?
Just one of those or two, but
it has become a force of habit to enable my son, so I continue to enable him, even though I'm trying to enable him less. Go ahead, ladies and gentlemen. Go ahead. Try and decipher that. Try and make sense out of that statement. Make it make sense. Good luck. Yeah. This episode gets very interesting though. Very, very bizarre twist of events. But hey, we're getting there.
Mark, you're gonna have asparagus, right?
Yes, please.
Mark can manipulate me and Rocky both for the food. Mostly me, because I feel so darn sorry for him.
I've been trying to decipher this one ever since I made the version for Patreon, link down below in the description, by the way. But I've been trying to decipher what she meant by sorry for him. I enable my son because I feel sorry for him. But you are pushing him closer to an earlier death. So if he dies due to obesity, I wonder what the mom's going to feel then. Will she still continue to feel sorry for him? Or will she think, damn, I should have put my foot down and I should have really made a stance in his life and made sure that he didn't get here. But instead I was too busy feeding him because I felt sorry for him. Listen, if anyone has interpreted that one in a different way, please let me know. Because I'm bizarre to me. Why would I enable someone because I feel sorry for them? That makes no sense. If I feel sorry for someone, I'd help them. And if they didn't want my help, well then I'll remove myself from that person's life. Point blank period, because I'm not going to be around here to enable you. For what reason? What better things to do than to enable you? And then if I'm trying to help you and you don't want to take my help, well, again, I got better things than trying to waste my time trying to help someone who doesn't want my help. But of course, she's his mother, so, you know, it's a bit of a different approach. But the approach that she's given is still not good enough. Pathetic. Raw. An astonishing 715.2 pounds. 715.2 pounds. The weight is no joke.
When you're 700 pounds, if you stick with the 1200 calorie diet, you're going to be able to lose more than 100 pounds in 1 month easily. Okay? Okay.
And Dr. Now proceeds on by saying that if you stick to that, then I will approve you for surgery. So 100 pounds, you should be able to lose at least 100 pounds in the space of 1 month. But he gives him a 2-month target. And I believe the target was for him to actually get to... The target for him was to lose 120 pounds within the space of 2 months. But ideally, he can definitely use the first 100 pounds within the first month. The question is, does he get to that goal so therefore he can be approved for that weight loss surgery? Well, better find out.
5.
All right, you're ready 618.
oh my God.
So 2 months later, and he loses an astonishing 97 pounds. Now, of course, that is still 23 pounds short, but he still lost a significant amount, which is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, at the end of the day, you want him to lose rather than him to gain, and you want him to lose a significant amount rather than lose very minimal. He's obviously done a very good job at it, and he was very open and very vocal about the fact that he did binge every now and then, you know, but for the most part, he stuck to the diet and he stuck to what Dr. Now gave him. So to be honest with you, when I was watching this and doing a Patreon, I was like, you know what, I would 100% take that as a win. Question is though, did Dr. Now take it as a win?
I don't even know. I can't even say this to you. Could you help me do this without the surgery? Is that possible? I feel strong in my mind. I feel like I can do this.
Well, Dr. Now does actually approve him for the surgery. As you can hear, Mark definitely gave us a bizarre and very unexpected twist of events where he's requested to do the whole journey all by himself because he does not want to have the surgery, because at the end of the day, he has surprised himself with the amount of willpower that he has gained in the past 2 months of actually losing the weight. So therefore now he wants to, you know, see if he can accomplish it all by himself. And to be honest, kudos to him. I mean, to be honest with you, for me personally, it was music to my freaking ears. Because at the end of the day, I really hate the concept of how every single person that we see on these weight shows see the surgery as if it's the miracle. They see the surgery as if it's going to fix everything. They see the surgery as if without it, their life is over. You know? So it was nice hearing that. Definitely nice hearing that. But, well, let's see what else is to come.
Your weight is 576.
See, you lost more weight.
So Mark has continued in his journey of losing weight and being resilient to the fact that he does not want to have surgery. And as you can see, he's now ended up losing an extra 42 pounds. Now, Dr. Now did tell him that he should be able to lose an extra 50 to 60 pounds, give or take, to be fair. But of course, he only did 42, which isn't a bad thing. It's still a good thing for the most part. But obviously, really and truly, it should have been better than that. If Mark just, would just stay away from those little cheeky little snacks that he likes to have every now and then. But I understand that mentally for some people, they just need that extra snack to be able to push them to keep going forward. How it works, I don't know. Because I've never had to do it on a basis of where I'm looking to lose weight. I mean, I've done it on a basis where I'm looking to lose body fat. But to be fair, I'm quite stubborn. Whenever I try to lose body fat, I just didn't have any sweet stuff apart from honey. I have an addiction to honey. I will admit that. Like, honey's... Either way though. Did I binge anything in general, like a chocolate bar or that kind of stuff? Absolutely not. Because I guess for me, I was like, we ain't looking back until we get to our goal. You know what I mean? Okay, and that was the grand scheme of it. But of course, me comparing myself to him is two different things, because obviously for him, it's losing not just body fat, it's losing a whole lot of freaking weight. And I don't know if having the little cheeky snacks is something that's really helpful. I think for a lot of people, it can be very triggering. But again, I think Mark is someone who's grown to know himself. So therefore, he's obviously able to do it and still lose a significant amount of weight, which is good. But ideally, if I was 715 pounds, I wouldn't want to snack one bit. I'd want to lose as much weight as possible, to be honest. But either way, though, this is Mark now. I think this is 3 or 4 months down the line now. But let's continue, because right now, well, Dr. Now still wants to give him the weight loss surgery, but Mark is still insisting that he does not want the weight loss surgery because he believes he can do all by himself without surgery. But here's the thing though, Dr. Now then does actually tell him that, listen, you can try, you can do it, but your body will get to a point where you will need the surgery, because the more weight you lose, eventually your body gets to a point where it gets stagnant, where it won't lose as much weight. And every weight that you do lose is always going to be a little bit, not too much. But let's see how that works out for Mark. Sadly for Mark, somehow he managed to actually gain 3 pounds. It's crazy because he was going to the gym, he was doing so many things and whatnot, and then boom, instead of losing weight, gained weight. And right now Mark is still insisting that he does not want the weight loss surgery because he believes he can do it by himself. In fact, he believes that having the surgery is a sign of him giving up on himself. Because he sees the surgery not as the result to him to losing weight. He sees that his resilience, and his resilience as a man, as a 42-year-old man, to lose weight is more powerful than him actually. No, wait, what? So basically, Mark has an ego where he believes that he can lose the weight all by himself, okay, without the surgery, because he's been able to found his willpower that he hasn't had in so many years, because of the fact is he's been able to stick to the diet and lose his weight that he's lost so far. But of course, he's stubborn to the fact that his body's going to get to a point where it's going to plateau and he's not going to lose that much weight moving forward. But Mark just doesn't give a damn, because he thinks that having the surgery is just an easy way out, and that is something to him that he believes is giving up. And I do understand and I do agree with him to a certain degree, but sometimes in life when we hit a roadblock, sometimes we may have to just take another option that is available for us. Mark is someone that is not seeing that at this moment in time, but hey.
The way you have to deal with Mark is you have to let him fall flat on his face. But I'm always going to be there to pick him up. I can't not do that.
Listen, at the end of the day, sometimes with men, and I can vouch for myself in this situation, I'm happy to throw myself under the bus. But sometimes with men, you've got to let us just fall. If we've got an ego that tells us, yes, we can do something, but flat out that we can't do it, well, you got to let us do it anyway. Because we have to have that closure that we can't. If we're told that we can't do something and we feel like we can do it and we have got the answer to it, we're going to want to keep trying to do it until we can do it. And then once we realize that we can't do it, we're going to be like, you know what, you're right. But I hold my hands up. I'll do it your way now, okay? But I had to try my way first. I had to know. But of course, not every man is like that, of course. This is more men. Yeah. I don't know what I'm doing right now in my life. What was that? Yeah. Anyway, but yeah. Anyway, let's continue.
Okay, you go ahead, Maxie.
I do apologize. I kind of really played that one just a tad too soon there. But yeah, this is obviously what he got down to, and he's only now lost an extra £1. And honestly, this is demoralizing to a whole lot, but I would feel peak. I would like, rah, like my body's moving mad at this point. I can't even lose extra da. But here's the thing though, I'm not necessarily sure about Mark's diet, obviously his exercise. I don't know if he's doing that much, because Mark was able, after he lost the £100, he was able to get himself a job. His job does involve him working at home, and he's pretty much on the computer every day because his job is literally helping people book holidays. And you know, because obviously he's always sitting down in his chair trying to do his work, despite the fact that he says that his work, you know, distracts him from eating and stuff like that. The problem is that it doesn't allow him to get out that much. So with Mark, you know, I don't know how much he's really leaving the house really get that much exercise, because I do believe that despite the fact that, you know, he doesn't want to have the surgery, the man is still £578. So he should still be able to be, he should be still losing, I don't know, at least another £30, maybe 30 to £50, I'd imagine. But of course, he started with 700, and I guess your body kind of works differently depending on the weight that you start at. But either way, though, gaining £3, then losing just £1 just doesn't really make sense to me. We should definitely be seeing bigger pounds than that, you know. But again, the body's very interesting, and obviously Dr. has already said to him that, listen, surgery is here. And it's quite interesting because Dr. Now doesn't question the fact that he gained £3. Nor does he question the fact that he lost just £1, you know, a month later on after that. He just says, listen, your body needs surgery now to go forward. It will continue being like this until then. It's just going to be very hard for you. So I guess that means his diet is in the right place. It's just that his body's at a point where he needs it. It's bizarre. Just imagine you get to a point in your life where you weigh so much, but even when you're losing it, it's plateaus like that. Nah, for me personally, I definitely feel like Mark definitely started to slip on his diet. What I think he started to slip on his diet, and I think now, thinking of it, didn't think of this earlier, but now I think about it, I think the reason why Mark doesn't want to have the surgery is because he knows that he's not ready for it. I think he knows that despite the fact that he's doing certain things to lose weight and whatnot, I think he knows that he's secretly still eating food on the low. That's what I think. And he knows that having the surgery just be pointless because he's not in a mindset where he can keep going. Because to be fair, when they had the therapy session, he had the therapy session with himself and his parents, and he was asked, like, well, what's going on? What's the fear? And he said, I have no fears. It's just this, and that. Yeah, nah, you know what? No, Bunda, this guy is still eating. 100%. That's why he doesn't want the surgery, because he knows. It's kind of bothering me now. But listen, let's continue. I really hope that they have him back for where they're now. But yeah.
And diet, then I wish you the best. And there's not much more we can do for you for that. And in any point in the future that you come to.
Yeah, Dr. Now pretty much says, you know what, because you don't want the surgery, you go about your business. You continue losing weight the way you want to do it naturally, and basically when you come to a common sense that it's not going to work and it's going to be very hard, give us a call and then we can see what we can do for you at that moment in time. But Dr. Now makes it abundantly clear that he believes that if he does not have the surgery and he keeps pushing in this direction, that Mark will end up being back at £700 again. And I guess maybe that's him assuming that Mark will get to a point where he may give up. But Mark insists that he's never going to give up and he's never going to be £700 again. He insists that he's going to get to the goal weight that he is looking to achieve. I don't know, listen, there's a lot of people who would be here right now and be like, listen, if it's me, I'm taking that surgery 100%. I ain't wasting no time. But obviously, there's people like Mark. For me personally, it's very refreshing to see someone not want the surgery and wanting to try and do it the whole way naturally. Refreshing. And I do like that concept. But I'm also learning that it's not always going to be as easy as 1, 2, 3 when you do that. But of course, there's people in the world that have been able to do that, right? Got to be. Without the surgery. But either way, though, I do feel like there's a part of me that believes that the reason why Mark doesn't want it is because maybe he's actually still eating food where he's not supposed to be. But,
He's a freaking doctor. He's not just talking out his and something that's exactly what you're doing. You're talking out your.
You're not thinking this through. You're just determined to do it your way, which is not necessarily the right way.
You know, it's about time that the parents gave him a tough love, but you know, sometimes in life, giving someone tough love can just be a bit too late.
So be it, but it's my decision to make. And if you need me to move out, I'll move out.
No, it's your decision to make. But if you keep being with us about this because mom mentions it or something like that, that ain't gonna work.
I need to hear it every freaking day,
I
multiple times.
I mean, listen, there is a certain level of peer pressure from the parents. You know, I do feel like the way the parents are going about it is kind of incorrect, but at the same time, I feel like no matter how the parents can go about it now, it's always going to feel a bit incorrect because they've wasted so many years of approaching this now. This is something that should have been dealt with a very long time ago. This is a man that was literally 200 plus when he was in his teens, for goodness sake. You know, so they've had opportunities to help this kid, or this man now. And I just feel like as a parent, when you're a parent, if you can't help your child or you can't parent your child when they're a child, trying to do it when they're an adult is probably mission impossible because they're an adult now. And let's be real, when we are all kids, all we care about is being respected as adults. You know, when our parents talk down to us, we're just like, raw, you're talking to you. Like when your parents talk down to you as a kid, you're like, what? Do you think man was a dickhead? Do you think I'm a mug? Like, hey, listen, I may be a kid here, but put some respect on my name. Don't talk to me like that. You know, I'm an adult, you know. That's how you be as kids, right? You know what I mean, for the most part. And then when you get to teenage years, that's when you're like, listen, now I'm a teenager now. You can't tell me what to do anymore. And that's what your parents be like, as long as you live underneath my roof, you will do as I say. And you're like, whatever you say. And then some people run away and all that kind of mumbo jumbo. But either way, though, when your child becomes, 18 plus, 21 plus, 25 plus, 30 plus, trying to be a parent at that point, tough love or not, it's a myth. But it is what it is. That's why you got to be a parent when the years are there for you to actually be a parent. You know, obviously you're always going to be a parent, but I'm talking about like rules and, you know, all that stuff. That stuff has to be respect. It has to be put in the earlies, you know what I mean? Tough love at the earlies. Not let your child get to this point here and now you're trying to parent them. Like, tough love ain't going to work in this guy. Doesn't give a damn. He's 42 for goodness sake. But yeah, continue.
You know what? I worked really hard last month, harder than ever. And I got a scale that I could use to weigh myself down. Doctor now says that those aren't accurate for someone my size.
But Mark's going to use it anyway. I mean, listen, man. I really want to see this guy on my 600-pound life. Where are they now? I really want to see how his journey turns out. Hey, very bizarre episode. Man that refused to have the surgery even though he met all the requirements. And he's determined to do it on his own. And he will even buy scales that are inaccurate. Can't always make sense out of everyone, can we now, ladies and gentlemen? But hey, you guys let me know what you're thinking down below in the comment section and we'll talk about it. But in the meantime, please do hit that subscribe button as well as the like button if you're new to the channel. We are done and we are out.